Hello, good morning, VMGM. This is Rihanna Morgan.
Good morning.
Good morning. Goodness, I am so happy to be here with all of you. So CD is absent with us today. He is on a retreat that he loves so much and asked me to step in and be the voice behind Vagabond Magazine. And so it is me. I am here. So what I thought we would do is just run around and everybody get an opportunity to introduce themselves, and then we can get going. And I'm so excited to see all of these faces in the audience. So Edward, I'll pass the mic to you.
Good morning. I'm Edward Carpenter. It's a pleasure to be here co-hosting with Rihanna, wishing CD the very best in his Vipassana retreat, which he's written about in the current Friends Who Write contest over on T2, explaining how he loves all things cultish. So definitely looking forward to talking to him next week and seeing what he learned in his latest expedition into the world of niche social groupings. And I'm looking forward to talking about the contest that's being hosted by T2 Lens, and they've been kind enough to let Twig Stories join in, and we have an extra prize pot for people who are in our community. So great opportunity to get your writing kickstarted in March. And also I'm looking forward to hearing from Dylan about everything ETH Denver. It sounds like it's been a very exciting couple of days.
I guess I'll go next. I'm George Pistana, otherwise known as Odd Writings, and I like to write word unit palindrome poems, and I like Oulipo and strange writings in general. That's it.
This is Greg from Cryptoversal Books. I am excited about a collection I'm putting together, Gutenbergs, on the Farcaster platform. Heavy into that culture and also PageDAO, and celebrating all things book related and all things PageDAO related. Going back to PageDAO's path, the first thing I published on the PageDAO Minter, the Gutenberg Bible, and bringing it forward to the next Minter and into the future. So it's going to be connecting the future and the past and everything and everyone.
Wow, I'm so excited. I can't wait to hear more about that. Everybody, and let's pass the mic to Dylan, and then we'll just keep going. Like, we've got so many wonderful speakers today, so let's just keep going around the bend.
Hey everybody, it's Tito and Daniel here. You may also know me as Epic Dylan. I've been working on the PageDAO for about 4 years with Robbie, Indefatigable, who is also here. I'll probably pass the mic to him next. But you know, I just want to say we had a great time at ETH Denver, and frankly, it's nice to be a co-host today. So my intention is to basically kind of dedicate a little bit of time here on the show to just kind of breaking down all of the crazy, awesome things that took place, and maybe just kind of sharing some information with the community about what's going to be happening next. So Robbie, would you like to intro?
Hi everybody. So I'm Robbie, Indefatigable, and I am excited to be here. I feel so enthusiastic about writers and writing and what's coming, and what we've done so far collectively. It's just really, really cool. I ran into this a bunch of authors and workers in the publishing space who are really looking for a shift and for something to change. And every day the cry gets louder, and I'm like, I have the solutions to that. I know what we could do. So it's really, really cool to think that the need is going to match the technology, and it'll be the right timing, and the people will be listening because the alternative sucks so bad. And so I'm just so glad and proud to be part of that front wave with all of you. And I realized also, I guess, I don't know if this makes sense for an intro bit, but I realized just today, as another one of my colleagues left Trad Publishing, to how much I've learned from each of you. Whether it's just on like the philosophy of knowledge sharing, like Dylan has taught, I've realized I've learned from reading all of his many papers. Whether it's Rihanna with teaching the craft and being a bridge between Web 2 and Web 3, and Easy on like community building and how to show up in virtual spaces so much so that people don't feel like they know you when they meet you IRL. All of you here have really so much to offer humanity, and like I'm really, 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 really proud to be associated with you all and you bringing the best of what we all have to offer.
I guess I'll jump in here for a moment. Easy in crypto. Most of y'all call me Easy. And man, just exciting times. I've been with PageDAO since the beginning. It's been a long road, and there's been some few scary bumps in recent past. But now, in even more recent past, it's like picking up so incredibly, and it's just super exciting times. I'm really excited to be here today to hear all about what was happening in ETH Denver. One of these years, next year, hopefully, I'm going to get there. I've been a couple times where I was so close, but just things came up, so I couldn't make it. So excited to hear about that. And yeah, even though I've been with PageDAO for a long time, over the last little while, I haven't been able to be as active, but things are in process and progress is being made to where I'm going to be able to be much more active soon. So I'm very excited about that too.
Well, that's really good to hear, Easy. I'm so stoked. Oh man, we have missed you, man. I also have to admit that I was on the phone for like 2 hours earlier with Eric Stowe, who I feel like was kind of your match made in heaven for Pass the Pin. And I'm excited to say that I think we're going to find a way to bring him back into the fold here at PageDAO, and we're going to be able to get him producing some art around kind of what we're up to, working with James Cowan in the MediaCraft sub-DAO, led by Rihanna Morgan. So anyway, that's some pretty cool stuff, and welcome to the space, sir. Let's see, does anyone else need to give us an intro? Authored Style? I don't know that I've heard you intro yet.
Yeah, how you doing? DR Smart with Authored Style. I'm excited to be in this space because I got a question for you all, but I want to hear first about ETH Denver. So, but later on, if you guys can help me with something, I'd really appreciate it.
Helping people is what this whole thing is all about. So I'm sure we'll be happy to get into that, man. Rihanna, what do you think? Is that the intro?
I think,
Should we move on to the next little segment?
yeah, I
here?
love it. I love it. I'm going to echo Indefatigable. I'm going to echo Robbie and all of you, and just say how much you all mean to me and how excited I am for everything that's going on. I feel like the page is turned, and bam, look at us. We are just so ready to help everyone, help the world, help the writers, help the artists, help everyone come together and have a voice and have a place and have a home and just really shine. And so I'm overwhelmed with how amazed I am by all of this. And yes, by all means, let's jump into ETH Denver and let's celebrate this. I want to pause for just a second and say, CD, I'm sorry. We're supposed to split this into two pieces, one VMGM and the other Web3 writers. But I feel like that today is just going to be a bonus to Web3 writers. There's so much to share and so much to celebrate. And I don't want to cut any of that short. And so this is a bonus. Web3 writers, full hour. Let's go. Let's celebrate. Let's talk about it. And there isn't anybody better than T. Dylan Daniel and Indefatigable to talk about ETH Denver. So let's jump into that.
Well, folks, I just want to say that you've probably seen my recent tweet. I wanted to share a little bit of the vibe from kind of the experience of the conference this year. And so I made like a little tweet. I guess I'll go ahead and put this in the nest because I always do that. But this has a nice little picture. It's us. We're hanging out. We're doing things. And then I kind of tagged a bunch of people so you can kind of see some of the interactions that we had out there and why that was special to me. But you know what? I think I should actually probably leave it at that for the moment and actually just hand the mic directly over to Indefatigable because this is the man of the hour. And I think that it's only fitting for him to deliver the stellar news of what we were able to accomplish, himself. So, Indy, I'm going to give you some applause, but I'm going to mute my mic so you won't actually hear it. But I love you, brother. Take it
so
away.
funny. Well, so ETH Denver was, we had a couple of, first of all, Dylan was like, a couple months ago, he dropped in the chat. He was like, anyone want to go to ETH Denver? That was the commencement of PageDAO's involvement at ETH Denver. And it just turned out that circumstances worked out for many of our team members to be there. We had Phil of Austin, we had Musashi showed up, and I showed up. It also turned out that it coincided with our Secret Network grant and a couple of hackathons that lined up with the kind of stuff that we were building proof of concepts of. So all these things kind of came together, and we also realized that we would benefit from being in community with other builders, both in the Cosmos ecosystem, but also across the blockchain spectrum. And so if there were networking opportunities, I'm pretty sure Dylan took advantage of them, as Dylan was like at every party with all the people in all the like senior spaces. I was very much in the trenches with a really, really, really cool dude, Dr. President from Shade Protocol, which built a DeFi protocol on Secret Network that leverages privacy first technology to make DeFi better. And he joined the PageDAO dev team while we hacked away at the last minute to implement some crazy stuff and tried to get it up before the deadline. Really,
shout out to Dr. President.
Shout out to Dr. President for real, yeah. But the combination of those two things, us being on the dev floor in the pit with like thousands of sweaty, stinky developers literally sleeping on beanbags strewn around, all the hope like literally all together, and Phil and his babies dancing to the DJ that played 24/7. It was really definitely a scene. Plus all the other events. It was my first hackathon, so I had no idea what to expect or even like to do. So there were like a million questions, very few answers. One of the coolest things, though, I will say is for the first day after I got there, I was able to talk to many of the mentors that they had set up for the hackathon. And in those conversations, I give the 20-second pitch. What is PageDAO? What are we trying to do? And like for each one of the people that I spoke to, they both got the big question, why it makes sense. And then they were all very interested in the very particular detailed question, which is the problem that we're trying to solve right now, the whole reason why we're operating on Secret Network. And in a nutshell, I was also explaining this to my wife's dad as I got back tired and fatigued and half delirious. I was like, why hasn't anybody built what we're building yet? Why doesn't it exist? Why is it so hard? And why are we focusing so much of our energy and our resources on putting this together? And I think that the answer is that privacy preserving and decentralized, secure storage of data is the holy grail for many, many, many people around the world. It enables monetization and revenue sharing and trustless creativity. It opens the doors for unlimited potential across multiple areas, everything from stage plays that deal with local issues to communities fighting to share resources and information that would be ignored by mainstream resources who control all the funding and visibility. It's a radical thing, and it's also radically difficult to build. So our partnership with Secret Network, which got solidified heavily on this last meeting, we were invited to a secret ecosystem chat, which contained like DeFi protocol people and like people ready to push the secret foundation and like this and that and us. And the reason we were there is because we're providing huge value in the form of creators looking to create. And the reason Secret Network is important is because they provide the secure infrastructure for data to be locked down in a decentralized way. There's many ways to lock down data in a non-decentralized way. Like I put a password, we lock the password. You need us to stay around for your data to stay accessible. What we're building is tools, our tools for people to have their data be accessible, even if we're not around. 100 years from now, the protocol will still be able to operate. And that critical distinction, it goes beyond any one organization. It goes beyond, use my chain, get money, hype stuff. It really goes down to the heart of what are these decentralized building blocks that we're building on, and how do we build them together in the best possible way for longevity and understanding that the value of our resources. So unlike the ephemeral web, the blogs that disappear, the sites that go away, we're building the infrastructure to allow people to have protected content forever. And that is a huge deal. There probably is more. Just also, I do want to say how good it was for me to be around our team IRL. It was my first time meeting Dylan and Phil in person, and Masashi as well. And I don't think I've ever experienced this level of what we built virtually in terms of relationship and communication totally translated into the IRL setup, which is like, whoa, I was hanging with my brother, and it was just a really good feeling to know that the relationships that we build in our with our avatars and our usernames could transcend into real life. And so I think that's part of the same value proposition that we're offering the world, is for many people to have the same kind of deep, rich connections with authors who may be far away, but when they do connect, they're not alone anymore. And in 2021, when we started building this, I was really alone. It was the middle of COVID. I was isolated in an attic in Queens, and I was lonely. And I reached out on the internet, and I found you all, and it changed my life. And so I think lots and lots of people could also benefit from feeling less alone this way.
Oh, that was beautiful, Robbie. Man, yeah, I feel the same. Would you mind telling us about the financial side of what happened at ETH Denver for the R&D department? I know we spent some money. We went out there. We traveled. That was the first time we've ever done this as PageDAO. Basically, we reimbursed people to do things. We got merch. We really went kind of all out with it. And I think we spent some money on that. But while we were out there, I believe we made strides to come closer to collecting the second and third milestones of our Secret Network grant. And I think we also have at least qualified for a couple of hackathons, but I'm not sure really what the final status is. Or I think one of those we won't get back until the 11th for sure, right? So I just wanted to kind of get the status on that if you don't mind, right quick, while we got you.
Sure, this is very PageDAO specific stuff, but all of our stuff is available, by the way, on chain at DAODAO.zone. You just look up PageDAO. Each of our main sub DAOs, we have 3. we have research and development, we have the core team, and we have community and publishing. You can go in and at any point, whether you're a member or not, you can check out our proposals. You can see what we're doing and what we're spending money on. So research and development did the awesome thing. We have a budget of page tokens, which now has quite a bit of liquidity up against it, which allows us to invest in events like this. So we reimbursed Dylan's travel and my travel to ETH Denver. We also invested in merch, which are these cool ass, kick ass page shirts, but some exclusive ones designed by Rihanna, which are only available on the PageDAO.org website and on the Story Shopify. But we also had these other PageDAO t-shirts that are super simple and sleek and elegant and kind of tell the story with understatement. So that's cool. As far as our secret network goes, so we're a part of the secret network Q1 cohort of grant recipients, and their whole concept was enable somebody to create cross-chain encrypted content using their new mechanism for going over the Axelar general message passing bridge. That's a lot of buzzwords, but basically you could have a Polygon NFT and its content is secured by a contract on Secret Network. It's really powerful. We got some beta code that we rapidly tried to integrate. Axelar, when I looked at the queue on the Axelar messaging network, we're like one of 10 transactions for the last 10 weeks. So like we're really on the edge here of what's possible. And so the milestone that we are looking at right now, we have two main milestones. We have the first milestone deliverable, which is basically our book publishing application, where you can log in with your email or your MetaMask wallet. You can create a book on your own contract on Polygon that also creates a sister contract on Secret, and kind of like the way Dark Block works, except it's on a public open blockchain where the encryption is stored. And your content gets saved to Secret Network, your NFT gets made on Polygon, and whoever owns the book can view it using our front end. Anyone can also build a front end that allows for the decryption. So if PageDAO went away, or if you wanted to build your own site where people have access to your books, that's all possible. So that we made significant progress towards it. We weren't able to complete it in 2 days, which is, no shocker, but we did get the message passing and the encryption part working. And so we're working on integrating it with our site. We're hoping to get that done by the 11th, which would allow us to receive the hackathon reward for the Secret Hackathon, which is one of 2 hackathons that we entered in ETH Denver. I hope that answers your questions, Dylan, on those 2 regards. We're basically just continuing to build. There's the front end piece, which is the website and what people see when they log in and stuff, and how that holds your info. We've made a lot of improvements to that from what we did with like README books, where you just basically go in and mint. Now it saves like an author profile. It adds writing projects that you can add to and manage separately. And then you go into a writing project and you can do multiple releases. So a release might be like, maybe you want to release serially, like a chapter of a book. Maybe you want to release multiple interrelated short form things under one contract. That's possible now under our new beta system. And these are not all the features that people have asked for and that we know are important, but they're some of the things that we wanted to slide in and get testing and feedback from on people. All of this is going to push our tooling forward. So these are like the fundamental building blocks, and everything that we iterate on here adds to our future stack, which is going to be a global, multi-chain, entirely frictionless. Speaking of which, Dylan talked at Frictionless, which was this badass Cosmos ecosystem series of panels that was off the chain. Off the chain, is that a pun? And I've been talking too long. I'm going to stop there. But yeah, lots of good stuff.
You can talk as long as you want, man. Well, folks, you heard it here first. Basically, the Page open source project is going to be kicking off in like a week. We're going to basically leverage the energy and the coordination that we were able to create at the hackathon to deliver the thing that we've been trying to deliver for all these long years. And so thank you so much for bearing with us while we did all the R&D that we had to do to figure out how to get there. But I also want to call your attention to one thing, which is that Robbie was being a total engineer there. I asked him about money and he told us about products, which was awesome. But okay, like, so at the end of the day, I think we spent between 5 and 10 grand traveling. And I think that we are going to be receiving more grant money that more or less is going to directly offset that from the R&D budget or whatever. And then on top of that, I think there's a couple more hackathons that we're either eligible for or that we've already won. And further, I just want to say, like, remember Robbie said this is my first hackathon. It's pretty unusual, folks, to walk into your first hackathon, create technology that's never existed before, and win 2 prizes. But I also have a story to tell, which is that we were in the prize pool for the main hackathon. There were only, I think, 6 projects that ended up qualifying, and we would have been number 7 with the new technology that we created, except it was very loud where all the hackathon stuff was happening, and we wanted quiet so that we could code and focus. So we actually didn't hear them call PageDAO. The PizzaDAO team heard them call us. And anyway, we kind of missed the boat to win the main ETH Denver prize because we were too busy building awesome shit.
I can't tell you how heartbroken I am about that, Dylan. Like I went back to the hotel and I cried. I laid on the floor with my wife. I cried, but like Dr. President and I were like literally in the other room, and we were like, "Oh yeah, we're getting the messages. We're rewriting the freaking entire code base." And like we were there for 2 hours just like hacking away. And like Dylan came over. He's like, "I think they called you guys." I was like, "What? Oh yeah!" Oh my god, most embarrassing moment of my entire life, to be honest. So embarrassed.
I think it's so funny, guys. Like, I mean, Robbie, like, you have accomplished so much, sir. Like, you win. You won at life. Like, there is absolutely nothing for you to ever feel upset about ever again, as far as I'm concerned. You dominate, sir. You are the rock star.
I messaged Rihanna. I was like, Rihanna, I fucked up. Oh my god, what am I gonna do? It's all over. It was so bad. Rihanna was like, take it easy, Indy. It's all right. Oh man.
I know. I
Yeah.
was like,
Anyway, so folks, that's I guess like kind of the quick and dirty ETH Denver breakdown. I think I'm gonna write one up for my first T2 submission coming up here later too. So if you have pictures, if you have stuff like that you'd like included in that article, feel free to share it on Twitter and tag me. There are a few things I want to try to cover. The biggest thing that we potentially have in the pipeline now, new, is actually another thing that we're working on with Shade Protocol. Basically, they offer protocol incentives to people that come and bring liquidity and create new pools on their platform, and they are extremely supportive. So they're a friendly team. They're willing to help us build stuff. Like, if we need like little DeFi bells and whistles to do things, these folks are the folks that we want to work with on that. I think, I mean, obviously, like, we never know anything for certain. But after having met these guys in person and talked turkey with them, like, I think that they're in it for the right reasons. I think what they're building makes sense, and I think that they legitimately have an interest in helping us, build our thing too. So this is kind of like reciprocated interest. But just to go ahead and throw this out there too, I know we're making this like all about PageDAO today, and I'm kind of not like, I'm like, sorry, not sorry. But I mean, I feel like CD probably could have seen this coming. Anyway, so just final quick detail. We may be creating a new liquidity pool, and this may be a thing that the DAO will have more of an ownership stake in, and hence when people come and trade this pool, it may provide fees that would be revenue for the PageDAO. And also, it's a huge liquidity pool that we don't have to pay page tokens for. if that makes any sense. It's kind of weird. On Osmosis right now, we basically had to say, okay, like, you know, we're paying people to put liquidity in the thing. Like, we're putting this money in the incentive. And yes, okay, these tokens are functionally worthless, but, you know, if people see the, you know, the thing is a thing worth doing, then they can come and do it. And they have. And so that's worked out great. But the thing is that the page token price can tend to go down over time because that creates sell pressure without necessarily creating buy pressure to match it. And so the shade pool is a little bit more inclined to be resistant against that because you're not actually dropping all these page tokens everywhere. So pretty much what the DAO needs to think about here is what we want to do in terms of creating this newer, more durable, potentially profitable liquidity pool for the page token with our new partner Shade Protocol, and what that can mean for, you know, other token launching projects that are coming up in Web3 with us, of which there are very many. I think I could name a dozen right now. I won't. We're you know, being somewhat secretive about this. You know, basically there's a private chat if you want in, you can just talk to us and get access. But you know, this is a chat between people who have ideas for tokens or who have tokens they've just launched that they need to come up with tokenomics for. And so pretty much across the board at PageDAO, I'm just seeing like this renaissance. You know, we have AI, we have magazines, we have books, we have publishers, we have authors, we have writers, we have partners, we have blog sites that are friends of ours, we have dexes, we have blockchains, we have liquidity pools, we have privacy preserving interactions, we have, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's blowing my mind, honestly. But you know, I'm just trying to focus on the technologies that we need to create and maintain together, so that we can stay coordinated and so that we can continue to scale this glorious, powerful Page open source project that does promise to create the next generation of broadly and widely used literary technologies for people. I apologize again about just, you know, taking it off the rails for 20 minutes there. I think it was absolutely worth it. You know, fault me for it, hate me if you want to. Edward, please, whatever you got to do, man, get us back on track.
20-second pause is clearly what's needed to get us back on track.
Well, I can jump.
Are we back on track yet?
Choo choo.
I don't know, maybe Odd
Sorry, I guess I was muted for that 20 seconds. I said I didn't think we were off track. I really enjoyed listening to that.
Maybe you just keep it off the train, keep it off the rails, and ride the crazy train.
We are off the rails. Always.
On a crazy train.
All right, you guys just made me sing Crazy Train in a crowded Starbucks. Woo!
That works. Nice. Love it. Love it. So much excitement and energy in here. It's just great to be here today with y'all. I am feeling the vibe rising for sure.
Right on, man. Well, hey, you know a lot about Web3 culture and so on. If I was trying to get somebody to talk about something besides PageDAO for just a minute, for the sake of our good friend CD Vagabond, maybe what you could do is kind of give us a quick, 30,000 foot overview of what's going on at Slingshot now for the moment. Easy. How'd you feel about that? I think all these writers are probably going to be super interested in the game studio that you guys have put together, because the collabs that could happen here are just absolutely through the roof.
It is. It's really interesting to be a part of Slingshot DAO. As like for starting out, it's really it does have the majority of focus around gaming, but that's kind of because of financial reasons and just culturally, like it can work to start getting a lot of engagement and like positive financial outlooks and stuff for a DAO. In fact, it's the first DAO that I've been a part of that put in a lot of work before ever coming towards launching anything. and it's worked so smooth. It's like the first time I've seen like everything just kind of working the way it should. I think partially because the focus has been streamlined to like, okay, what we're doing is we're giving anybody that wants to join this community an opportunity to give their ideas and have those ideas that are voted on by the community. The top one that wins gets funded and built, basically. So right now it's gaming. It's mostly, we did some Sandbox at first and Roblox, but right now it's like, okay, we went to one platform, Roblox, which is interesting for me because I'd never known about it. It's very Web 2, but there's like this crazy Web 3 kind of culture in there. And so as Slingshot DAO grows, we'll be adding other platforms back in. We're just starting to kind of ramp back up into some more focus on Web3 particularly. And, you know, the timing is good with market picking up and stuff. But there'll be multiple platforms. Basically, the community will have to decide what that is, bring forth a proposal. I'd like us to add a leaderboard of ideas for XYZ metaverse, whatever, you know, whatever you're thinking. And those are just basically like experiences. It could be your participating by walking through some comic book, choose your own adventure, like metaverse / literary experience. There, you know, anything could happen. And in the token has seen some, you know, it was up to like a penny the other day, which for, you know, a new token that hadn't done much like, you know, advertising or anything for, was really a fast growth because there's been some kind of intense, like, I guess, kind of behind the scenes interest in what's starting because there's so much IP. Like this could be just one of the most massive like IP libraries because what you're doing is rewarding communities to bring their ideas and helping them get it built. Then it's basically owned by the DAO, but that ideator, the person that brought the idea, if once they win, they're getting, you know, a couple thousand in USD and like hundreds of thousands in the Sling token. So they're rewarded really well. They get to work with a game studio that gets up to 15,000 to develop that game idea right now. So that's the over like 30,000, 50,000 foot kind of overview. And what I'm mostly doing is running community events. We do like sometimes we have like a Sunday just gaming event where it's just all like we go and play some different games and just kind of get feedback and hang out. And then I do a Wednesday show where we're actually, you know, kind of interviewing, hearing from the community members that have their ideas up in that round. And each round basically is the month. So, you know, we'll kind of focus on winners and whatnot. We'll look at the games in development and play test those so people get rewarded for finding bugs and stuff. It's really been pretty exciting, and it's where most of my time recently has been focused on. But like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, some things are kind of in process, and soon I'm going to have a bit more time for specifically PageDAO related stuff. So I'm excited.
Oh, it's amazing. And tell me, does Slingshot DAO have a native token yet or a cryptocurrency?
Yes. So that is Sling, SLING, and it is what you get rewarded when you come and participate events, and you know maybe you like find some bugs and you get some Sling, or you're just there hanging out, you know, and we're doing drops and stuff. And yeah, the token is doing really well. They're looking at ways to incorporate it as kind of like gems you can win in games as well. So it's really the SSD is also a bridge for Web 2 people to get familiar with Web 3. They've done some interesting things even with like Web 2 like social login integration where you could set up a wallet without necessarily having a MetaMask and like lock up your tokens to vote and all that. So you do need some Sling tokens to vote on ideas, but you can get those like for free just by participating. Now there is a liquidity pool that's been up for maybe a couple months, so there's also ways to, you know, be able to go and purchase some.
Hey, what network is all this stuff on? Easy?
So Polygon.
Polygon.
Yeah, tokens on Poly,
we got
baby.
a Page
So,
LP there too. That's cool. We could do a Page Sling LP at some point if we wanted to.
Yeah,
that would be kind of wild.
That would be a really great and wild proposition to bring forth. I bet we could get support to have it voted through as a yes, and that could create some really interesting possible collabs with PageDAO and Slingshot DAO. I mean, there's always need for writers for even if it's just blurbs for the games and stuff that we're creating, or lore for those games specifically. Like we've been talking more about lore sessions over in Slingshot DAO too, so that there's definite crossover.
What do we think? Are people interested in helping create games? Give Easy a follow. Easy, I added you to the tokenomics chat on the PageDAO Discord.
Awesome.
So hop in there. We're trying not to like spam it too much, but we're definitely talking tokens. And there are so many people, so many communities that are looking at working with us because they see the success that we've had over the last little bit here, and they want to see if we can help them replicate that. And my answer is I don't know that I can, but I'm certainly willing to try. So let's go.
Awesome. Love it. Yeah, could be really exciting. And I think there is so much crossover. And again, right now the focus is gaming, but the Slingshot DAO wants to, it could be, and I mean, this is talked about frequently and in posts and stuff, like cartoons or magazines or film or shorts, any of this. It's like just IP and content, and but in a way that rewards the creator. The main kind of thrust of Slingshot DAO from the beginning of their building, and the reason I got involved, because I know some of the people that had been, starting this thing, is the ethos that we all hold dear, which is creators should have rewards for what they create. And the system has been broken for too long and only waited for the top. So that is the ethos behind Slingshot DAO. It's leveling the playing field is the idea.
This sounds very aligned with PageDAO values to me. Robbie, you got your hand up, man. Just jump in there.
Yeah, my question is for Easy. Easy, you've thrown more historic events in Web3 than anyone I know. I think you might take the cake. But I was wondering, I see Slingshot DAO events pop up online regularly, and I was wondering what those events are like. Would anyone what would the pitch be for someone to hop in and join in and get involved with one of your cool ass events?
Oh, it's very open for people to get involved. We do mostly, it's been Discord events so far. So mostly it's been in the Slingshot DAO Discord, which if you look at Slingshot DAO on Twitter, there'll be a link there in the bio, I'm sure. But we're also starting to do some spaces here. So we've just did one last week. In fact, there was one earlier this morning. They're going to be popping up more, so we'll have a little more visibility over here in the Twitter sphere or X sphere. But yeah, the majority right now are in Discord. And so, yeah, just if you see one, click that link and jump in. And we're always, bringing people up on stage to either get questions or feedback, to give, ideas. And of course, might be somebody that's getting interviewed because they won and their game's getting built. So during that little part of the show, maybe we don't bring people up, but then we'll be if anybody wants to come up and have ideas, share. We're always trying to get people from the community to be involved and share their feedback or ideas, inputs. Would love to have anybody here come.
Right on.
That sounds so amazing, Easy. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, folks, I've sent out another couple of speaker invites to Spherical Art and Juan Shu. If you guys would like to jump up and say a few words, we'd be happy to have
Also,
you. Oh, yeah. Hey, Juan
Dylan,
Shu.
I think you can't hear Rihanna when Rihanna speaks. So I'm going to stay quiet. Yeah, I'm going to stay quiet right now and open the mic for Rihanna.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Robbie. And Dylan, I'm sorry, I don't know why you can't hear me. So I do want to definitely open up the mic for Wan Shu, and I definitely want to open up the mic for Edward and Odd Writings and everyone to talk about T2 and beautiful season 2 that's happening and how exciting all of that is. And so if you are ready, just go ahead and open your mic and jump in and tell us all about it.
Hi everyone. Hi. Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening. Yeah, Friends Who Rise Season 2 submission window is officially open, and the first submission deadline is this Friday. I see most of you have already teamed up, and this season we are so glad to see new friends and so many old friends from the previous season as well. And some of you have already submitted your first article. And we also see some of you have created your first territory to participate in the territory race as well. This season is not only about writing and competing, but also about learning together and grow together. So we just announced our writing workshops that we will be organizing. And this time we're also invited a very experienced facilitator to help writers polish their skills and grow their confidence as they write as well. I know previously I spoke to CD and Rihanna about the workshop idea and tentatively send over invite to see if you're interested. But then when I spoke to with my team, we're just like, they are Rihanna and CD, and Odd Writings, they're just so good at writing. Why are we distracting them? It's just unfair for them to also at the same time writing and conducting workshops. So we decided to just hire someone else to do so. But yeah, this is going to be a great season, and we're so glad to have you all with us.
Well, thank
Washu, it's so good to see you. I can finally, I think, hear Rihanna too. So sorry for breaking in. I just wanted to also jump in and see how T2 is doing more broadly. I feel like you guys are seeing tons of growth. I'm seeing tweets that say T2 protocol is the reason that people want to use Lens. This is blowing my mind. You guys are blowing up. Tell us about it.
Yes, we have officially opened the platform to everyone. So now you don't have to join a wait list. You could just join T2 with your wallet or with email, with Google accounts, or even just with Apple ID. So we really try to bridge the gap for writers between Web3 and Web2. I think also adding more use case to the Lens ecosystem as the publishing home, which has been which is very well received, I guess. It's such an honor to see that people enjoy using T2. Of course, I have to also say that T2 is not perfect. We're still very early, but for all of our friends to show us the love, it's such a great experience for us, and we feel very honored.
Yeah, if I could
yes.
just jump in and say that I think one of the things that really sets T2 apart and has really attracted me to it is the fact that even within competition, they emphasize collaboration. And I've said that Web3 writing, I think, is a lot more about success comes from collaboration as opposed to competition. And so, yes, Friends Who Write is a competition, but I think the team that I was on last year and I'm on again this time, the reason we did as well as we did was because we collaborated together. And that was a new thing for me. I'm not used to writing with teams. I'm used to doing a lot of other things with teams. And I think this season, there's actually prizes that are specifically to nominate other people for how good of a writing partner, how good of a friend, or how good of a mentor they were. So I just think that's something that should be celebrated, and it's something that we need more in the space. And I'm really happy to see that's one of the values that T2 is bringing with them.
Thank you. This is actually a really great that you mentioned that. This year we have a special prize called Best Friends Prize. It literally is about nominating people that helped you during the contest, whether it's your teammate or whether it's someone from other teams that help you with proofreading or share your work. So what we really want to do is to highlight this value that writers need each other and to grow and to nurture their writing journey.
Yes, absolutely. That's a beautiful way to approach it. And because I really feel like that writers just sort of settle in, we're very solitary. in our creation, but we need others to bounce ideas off of, and others to be able to work with, and just every piece of it is so it's so important to have the trusted writer friend, the beta reader, the people, the others that can help see, is what I created are you seeing what I created, and does it match what my dream is? And so that is a beautiful approach. So congratulations so much. And Edward, I would really love for you to take a little bit of time and talk about the twig tails, and see if you can bring in a little bit of that, and share what's going on with your corner of the world.
Sure, I'll be happy to, and I'll throw a link up in the in our nest. So one of the things that we did last time, I think, when I was a part of the season 1, I think I was posting all my writing just in the Friends Who Write territory, because I didn't really know where else to do. This time around, I'm working with a group called Twig, which is trying to kind of reinvent how sort of ebooks are done, is a quick way of putting it. It's a little more complex than that. But they're a platform that's launching in May, and we're trying to we have a bunch of flagship partners, people who want to publish stories or publish lore or have various written format material. But we want to try and get them up to speed to where they have a product that they've drafted and have done some revisions on and had some people look at. And we thought this was a really great way to encourage people to do that, because sometimes you can have a great idea, but it's hard to find the time to sit down and do it. But if someone says, hey, I'll put you in a contest and you can win something, now maybe people get a little more excited. So rather than trying to do something internal, I said, let's leverage the power of collaboration. Let's jump on board and bring some people into T2, which I think is a great writing platform, just in general. Kind of reminds me of what Medium was back in the days before they decided to go through their first of many changes of the deal for authors. But it's really straightforward. It's a very easy intro to Web3 if you've never been in Web3 before. And we obviously have people who are coming from both lanes. So I reached out to Wanshu, who fortunately had a good connection with, and just asked, could we have a Twigtails territory? That's what we call it, our little internal writing development program. And she said yes. And so now we are welcoming people who want to kind of form their team under our territory. It's a place where you can get some extra eyes on your writing. You can maybe find a new team member, because the teams can be from, I think, 2 to 6 people. I think there's pluses and minuses to having a lot of people or a few, depending on sort of what prize you're going for. If you're going for consistency, you may find it harder to get 6 people to all be on time with something than to get 3 of your best friends. But it just depends. So I'll throw a link up in the chat. And you can be a member of the Twigtails territory and still post in other territories. And our friend CD is a great example. His first post was on the topic of religion. So it's very appropriate that he posted it in spiritualism as opposed to posting it in the Twigtails. But the advantage of posting some or most of your stuff in one territory is that this time around there is a territory prize, which we think that Twigtails should probably be pretty competitive to compete for. We may not be the biggest, but you don't have to be the biggest if you have the most people who are really active about not just writing, but reading what other people are writing. So that's my challenge to everybody, is jump into this contest. There's plenty of time to enter, still another week before the registration cuts off. I think we were quite a late entry last year, and we still did okay to get a little bit of a prize. So yeah, I think that's it for me. Anybody got any questions or comments?
That sounds so exciting, Edward, and I can't wait. I have my first post all ready to go that I'll jump in and get that uploaded as soon as I can. And so, authored style, I know that at the very beginning of this, you said, hey, I have a question. And so I really want to honor that and give you time to do that. So would you like to come up, please, and share with us your question so we can help you if we can?
Yeah, sure. No, a lot of great information. Edward, I don't know if you have a tweet or something for the twig to see? If not, I can look at it later. But yeah, my question was, so I created a book trailer for a book that I'm going to put out on chain and over like the summertime. And so Scent doesn't really like because I created like AI music with it, and I did pictures that have motion and stuff like that. And so I bared it, I took stuff out to see, and it still didn't like the compatibility of it. So I was trying to see, is there any other platforms you think that would be able to kind of accept basically the music and the visuals and the sound effects and things like that of a trailer I created?
So I'll tell you, I actually do have some experience with this. I did a book trailer for a short story that I wrote some years back called Lethargica. And originally I had that just on YouTube, but I had the MP4, and I ended up publishing it as an NFT on OpenSea's Lazy Mint back when they still had that, with the idea being that if people, one of the things I saw as a problem with some of the Web3 books at the time were that there was nothing really to stop you from just flipping through the entire book and reading without ever buying it, which is okay. But I kind of wanted people to buy my story. So I put the book trailer up, and that was the thing that you saw. And if the trailer was enough to interest you, because it was like, I think it was almost exactly 1 minute long. If you were interested, then you could buy the NFT, and you would get as an unlockable the ebook and the audiobook and the stuff like that. So that's how I handled it. I remember that and that worked out pretty well on OpenSea. I think OpenSea's done away with their Lazy Mint protocol. I think you could probably do it on Tezos, because I think Object will take a MP4 upload, and I believe it will allow you to. So the trick is you need a place that will A, take the MP4 upload, but B, that you can attach something unlockable. I think Tezos has unlockables, but I'm not 100%. Does anybody else want to help me out on the technical end?
I can't say with 100% assurity, but I think you're correct with unlockables on Tez.
I don't think that's working on Tez, but there are ways to do it. Yeah, no.
I do want to say what I think is the useful thing about a book trailer as having that be the kind of the front page of your NFT is if your book, your artwork is posted in a virtual space like Spatial or the Open Metaverse. If it's just a book, many times it'll just show up as essentially the cover is static art on the wall. But with the MP4, you can set it so that if someone walks by within a certain space, or certainly if they click on it, they can watch the movie there on the wall. So I think that was one of the other reasons that I liked it. And in fact, it's been one of my long-term challenges. I throw this out almost every time I speak publicly, or even sometimes semi-publicly. And since we've got the PageDAO team here, one of the big things that we need in our ultimate ebook protocol is if the book is on the shelf of a library somewhere, or if it's on the wall of a gallery, or if VM Magazine is on the wall of a gallery at the Tate Modern. In virtual, the person should be able to walk up, and ideally, if they're under VR, pick it up and interface with it with their hands. But at the very least, if they're not under goggles, if they're just at their computer screen, they should be able to click on it and interact with it and flip through it and read it in some way. And I've yet to see that really done very well. I don't think even the Time magazine or the Lit book functioned that way when they were placed on a gallery. I could be wrong. Maybe someone's used it once or twice, but almost always I see it as static imagery.
No one's done it. No one's done it yet, Edward. And in fact, like, in order to achieve the open metaverse protocols that would allow that to happen, we're looking at Lamina 1, which is CD put us on to our friend Neil Stephenson's metaverse, and it's built on open protocols, and it's part of also the huge open metaverse thing. So, like, let's say right now, because of how decryption is handled, there isn't an open protocol where you can provide consistent gated access to secured content across metaverses. And I know we've hit time as well. So the whole reason we're building this protocol is so that the content of the book would be encrypted, and it would allow front ends to be able to create different viewing options of that book. So obviously a 3D holdable, movable metaverse version of your book is achievable if I build a metaverse component on Lamina 1 that is authorized to decrypt the content when the conditions are met. And so like that's the holy grail we're building toward, so that books are treated as true interactive 3D objects with real value in world reading and sharing. And even the simple idea that you mentioned of providing alternate preview content for books in the form of the video. I think that's the kind of thing that PageDAO is really interested in. I like, as we were building the Minter, we had to let people choose what they upload as the preview, and usually it's a static image. Also, preparing, not everybody's ready to prepare full scale book preview promo video content. And so I think PageDAO is also really interested, especially through the arms of community and publishing and MediaCraft, to partner with someone, maybe in exchange for a percentage of royalties or something like that, to help people produce the kind of marketing stuff that their book deserves, or their content deserves. And so all of this is really excited to bring it under one hub, and like have your books be forever books. So like they'll, when the future catches up, when books are inside libraries, inside metaverses, that the books you've created already are part of that equation. I think that's and the books you create in the future is what we're working towards.
No, thanks. Oh, that sounds awesome.
It does. It does sound awesome. And I'm so happy that I get to be part of the PageDAO, and I get to work with everyone every single day to build these things that we're all dreaming of. And it's so close to being reality. I can't even tell you. So I'm so super excited. And let's see. So I know we've kind of jumped over time a little bit, but I really want to give Cryptoversal Books an opportunity to jump in and talk about what he has been doing, because this is something that's really exciting for all of us who are part of PageDAO. And if you are not part of the PageDAO yet, everybody is welcome. The doors are open. Just jump on over. You can visit us at pagedao.org. You can find us on X here, PageDAO. You can find us on at Discord. Follow Indefatigable, follow Brianna Morgan, follow Cryptoversal, T. Dylan Daniel, all of us, the PageDAO is here with us, and please just jump right in and introduce yourself and talk about what you're doing and what your strengths are, and because then together we can build this beautiful space. And so, Cryptoversal, I'm going to pass the mic to you so you can talk about what you are working on.
Thanks so much, Rihanna. I am so excited about this project. For the past couple of weeks, 2, maybe 3 weeks, I have had my head down making probably more portraits of Johannes Gutenberg than anyone has ever made in history. I have been thinking of him as a metaphor and as a personal hero, someone who was the dev of his time. The 15th century was his time, and he brought a new technology to publishing that changed the world. And when you think about what the Gutenberg press enabled, it enabled the Age of Enlightenment. It enabled the scientific revolution. It enabled religious reforms. It enabled the entire modern world up to the moment we're living in. And I think that we're on the edge of another Gutenberg moment, and that's why I have been thinking of him as a metaphor since I came into the space in 2021, and putting everything I've learned and everything I've experienced and everyone I've met and all the communities I've been involved in, and especially PageDAO, into this project. And it's going to be 555 portraits of Gutenberg in different styles, and they're also going to act as raffle tickets for PageDAO books from the Read Me collection. I've got a number of them I've published. Anyone who wants to add in books into the raffle as these things are given out, as these things are purchased. There's going to be 200 that I'm just going to give away to members of communities that have helped me along the way, my journey, including PageDAO. Anyone who has a PageDAO book, anyone who's ever purchased or been given or has somehow acquired a PageDAO book, you are in the Gutencast's collection whitelist, allow list to pick one up. First come, first serve tomorrow. Tomorrow is the day. I'm dropping 100, and then another 100, and then the public mint starts. And it's going to be amazing. And I've just been slaving over metadata, and I am up to my eyeballs in metadata, but I am having so much fun doing it, and I am learning so much from the experience that hopefully I look forward to help other people with their projects and their collections, and just the continuing process of all of us helping each other out along the way. And this is probably the biggest thing I've ever tried to do in this space ever. And I'm just just going through doing it and just doing it my way, doing the art my way, and this is what I enjoy doing, putting the art together that in the way that I want to do it. It's coming up with different styles, coming up with different motifs, and having it all a collective theme by community innovation. And it's going to be something that going forward will be part of Cryptoversal Books and the Cryptoversal DAO, and a chance for holders to be involved in the DAO and be members of the DAO and use it as a mint pass for all the authors that are going to be publishing, and anyone who wants to get into the space and just push the space forward. And I am so excited about everything that PageDAO is doing in Denver. Just hearing the reports, and it just kept me going, energized me, and made me so hopeful for the future, and so happy to be involved in this organization. It is such a great time, and I have never felt more optimistic than I feel right now.
Three.
Whippy!
Yes. 3 cheers. Exactly. And Indy, I see that you have your hand up. Please jump in.
I know we're over time, and I'm sorry. We throw the word Gutenberg out so much. I was wondering if there's like a 1-2 sentence elevator pitch why Gutenberg is your hero and how it relates to what's happening in publishing right now.
Johannes Gutenberg took an existing tech stack from East Asia and a public domain book, the Latin Bible, and turned it into the modern world. Brought the human race out of the Middle Ages, out of medieval times, into the space age. And the books that he created are the most valuable books in the world. You cannot buy them. They're all held by institutions. They never come up for sale. If anyone ever did, it would blow away all the world records, because everyone recognizes how amazing this technology is and what a milestone it was in publishing. And when you think of milestones in publishing, if PageDAO is a milestone in publishing, we are the direct heirs of Johannes Gutenberg.
Well, for one thing, I just want to say I'm here for as long as this space keeps going. I think we can maybe make an exception this week and just run it a little bit over, because this is too exciting to let go, at least in my opinion. Greg, dude, phenomenal work. I can't wait for this drop. I think I may have to go remit some of my books that that I don't have access to because they're in hacked wallets and give them away as part of this drop.
That would be fantastic. I want to get all the PageDAO README books. I want this to be something that pushes PageDAO the README collection into public awareness, and gets people excited about the next minter and the next stage of this journey.
Can I share something that's just it's just one of those things that shows, kind of what it means to be someone in this room. So I came into this space kind of back when Web3 books were first getting started. And there was a lot of companies, and a lot of them had some pretty glamorous sites and a good bit of backing and some big names. And most of them are not here anymore. And I used to be more consistent about putting out the Meta Librarian Minutes. I'm going to get a copy out soon. Maybe even I thought about releasing a copy on T2. But I'll have to update. I'll have to update the whole last part of the page. I have the links to everything because so many of them are just gone by the wayside. But I'll tell you what my the second NFT I ever bought was a PageDAO minting token, and I was just thinking to myself, like, do I have a README book? And I know I have at least one because Citco World, which is the story that kind of launched what has ultimately become Twig. It's the Twig founder's wife's fantasy novel that she really just wanted a better way than a plain page to share with her readers. They minted their kind of like little prequel, the little first teaser chapter. And I got one of those, I think dropped to me because I was one of the early advisors with Citco World. So it's very interesting that now, some of the first projects I worked with are now dropping, kind of free mints or white lists that I might be qualified for because of another project I'm in that I'm still in. And everybody's growing, and you had to be here through the bear market to do this growing. And a lot of the people who made their quick buck and left early with their big promises, I just feel bad for them because they're missing out on this excitement.
How long till Greg Younger shows back up, you think?
I don't know, man. How long before I start waxing myself? I'm a laser man.
I was just thinking that. And I have a very similar story to Edward about joining Web3 as a traditional writer and coming from all of whatever that means. And I stepped my very first day, and I don't know what kind of magic the universe shined on me, but it did. And I stepped right into PageDAO, and Dylan was the first person I talked to. And then I immediately met CD. And then very shortly after, I met Indefatigable at Cryptoversal. And I can tell you 100%. And then easy, because I went to a Pass the Pen. And all of you changed my life. And I can't even explain or express without crying how much all of you mean to me, and the passion that we all have to turn the publishing industry on its ear, and to make it be author centric, and to make it be a celebration of authors and creators and artists and filmmakers and everyone who steps forth into this big risk, and we meet them with love and compassion and openness and inclusivity, and I just it's like the universe created all of us to come together to do this. All the tumblers have come together to create this for all of us, and and I am just so overwhelmed with gratitude and love that we get to do this. And Odd Writings and Edward and want you, all of you that have future Adora, all this love that we do all of this together. And I'm so happy, all of you, Lisa and everybody, it's just beautiful. Authored Style, everyone here. Thank you all so much for showing up when it was just two of us or three of us, or the people who believed. And now there's so many people, And this is what we are building for, is the so many people. But my love for all of you will always just be so overwhelming for me. So I am so grateful.
I'm with you right there, Rihanna. If you ask me, the proper attitude is certainly gratitude. And in that spirit, I want to go ahead and just open the
I think I
floor.
felt some of the aloha in
Uh-oh.
that
Oh,
little
totally. But we're not
moment.
going there yet, Easy. Easy, you shut your dirty, filthy mouth, sir. We still have some introductions we need to do. We got Future Adora, we got Spherical Art, we got Lisa Gibbons. I want to hear from everybody. Who are you? Introduce yourself. Explain your connection to PageDAO. Explain why you love Web3 writing. We got time for this, folks. Let's use it. Let's do it.
Hey, could I jump in right now? This is Spherical Art. Can you hear me?
Yes, please go for it.
Hey, I just want to say congratulations to your team for what you accomplished at ETH Denver. Specifically, want to say hi to T. Dillon and Indy and Easy, who I know better, but it's great to follow the rest of you. I wanted to know if I live pretty close to New York City, and I was wondering if the PageDAO team was going to be at NFT NYC.
When is it?
I believe it's coming up. Is it April 3rd through the 5th? I believe
it might be doable. I know that's definitely Robbie's neck of the woods. What do you think, folks? We should definitely discuss this in the Discord and see what the DAO believes.
Yeah. And this is the first time I know Indy's. I talk or hear Indy all the time. I'm not Indy, but Easy rather. And I never knew about Slingshot DAO. I'm going to have to check that out. So thanks for your presentation to that on that today, Easy. I appreciate that.
There's so many projects. It's so easy for awesome stuff to just totally fall through the cracks. But anyway,
Totally.
Thanks for the shout out. That's awesome. It's great hearing from you, Spherical Art.
I also want to I just want to shout out Spherical Art, who's been like innovating, providing a bridge for Web2 artists to get a platform on Web3 with his show on Token Smart. That's been regular, finding NFT artists. Also, Spherical Art, if you are out there and in the market for super future valuable NFTs, because he's been creating at the edge of what NFTs are capable of, follow Spherical Art, check out his NFTs, scoop them up. They're priced reasonably. Like if you're a collector and you were looking for like the inside, go grab a Spherical Art NFT. So that's my show, but also I think Paul is a friend and good to see him here.
Hey, yeah, I got on Twitter and I saw your icon there, Indy, and I said I have to jump into PageDAO. I mean, I've heard about PageDAO from time to time. I even did some artwork for PageDAO way back when for T. Dillon, and maybe you remember that. And thank you. I was paid for that, I believe. At any rate,
yeah, that was one of the best covers I ever had. No offense, Robbie. You also have done awesome freaking covers for my work. But anyway, Paul's is special for me.
Well, that was great that I had the opportunity to do that. I'm off here in my little niche doing my doing this little show on Mondays that I do on Token Smart, and I've been doing that for almost 3 years now, and have covered hundreds of artists. So that's kind of doing art and doing that little show occupy a lot of my time. But I still have a desire to collaborate and to do some new things with other people in the Web3 space, people that I know from Scent. A lot of you guys started on Scent, or I met you in Token Smart, or I'm meeting you here now on Twitter Spaces. I'm open to collaboration and looking to get involved where I can.
Man, we got to introduce you to Underground. I'm gonna share a tweet in the nest here because that's another new PageDAO partner. We're looking at helping them do a token. Anyway, I'm gonna put that on the nest here in just a second, but I do want to go ahead and just keep the energy live and just pass the mic to Edward. His hand is up, and then it looks like we got Easy next. And after that, I want Lisa Gibbons to give us the intro. I think she's going to be part of the PageDAO collab with Underground. So she's got the tea, folks.
So I just want to give a shout out to a friend I see in the crowd, Future Adora. Future Door, I know that you have the speaker role, so if you want to say hello, definitely do. But I just threw a tweet up in the nest, which is a link to Volume 2 of Arts and Poetry, because if you have not seen Future Adore's poetry, you were talking about spherical art taking NFT artwork to the limit. Future Adore really is the reason that that issue was months late coming out, because I just had to integrate her poetry that was it's visual, it's audio, it has to be heard and seen to be believed. And I'm very happy that we were finally able to get it in there. So that's just an example of what she produces. But definitely, if you're not following her, if you're not collecting her art, do so, whether it's through that that poetry edition that's on Tezos, or I know she publishes on Chia and a few other places. So just want to throw a shout out to a really great creator out there. And I look forward to seeing you next time in Amsterdam. I'll buy the first round of drinks.
Aw, that's so sweet. I actually thought about you yesterday because I was there at the Labyrinth, yeah, poetry cocktail bar. So I appreciate it. And hello, I'm gonna quickly say hello because I'm extremely tired. But yes, the mint that we did together for the magazine, it's my only mint outside of Chia blockchain. So I'm just super proud and just really value our friendship and relationship and seeing in real life and just making it more, yeah, human like. And I appreciate it. And everybody here that's been in the poetry little Web3 scene, odd writings, and Riona down there. And, it's just community, regardless what blockchain you're minting on. It's just really nice to hear everybody's excitement and what they're doing. It just keeps the fire alive at 9 p.m. for me. But yeah, I mean, I definitely gonna just plug in something, at least for me, huge. And as a poet, I'm part of the women's in tech community. And last year we did a thing in Spatial that I think it was like 30 days. There was 15,000 visitors in Spatial, and this year our art's gonna be on Times Square. So it's just A, insane. B, it's my ex-husband's city, so I'm kind of like, haha. But anyway, that's a full circle. So
That is
just
a dunk right there, is what that is. I mean, you can't flex like that. Oh, that's
Thank
beautiful.
you. I appreciate it. Yes, so it's just amazing. And yeah, what poetry can do and can bring, and what creativity, leveraging technology. So I just, tooting flowers to everyone here. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you so much,
Man,
Dora. That's beautiful. I just wanted to jump in and share my love and share my cheer for you. This is Rihanna, by the way. I'm so excited, and I was so happy to see you join the space today. So, yay! Thank you, thank you, thank you.
gotta say,
Yes,
I'm
jump in.
excited to go check out this poetry piece with audio. Sounds super awesome. Actually, I was able to meet Riona at the Verse Poetry at NYC last year, and I've been like kind of ruggy, so like I wasn't able to hear everybody. Thank you, Rihanna, for bringing me up when I have to go down. So then it's like resetting the audio so I can come up. But I wanted to say big shout out to Spherical Art. I'd love to see you here today and coming up and speaking. More collaborations, please, with you and PageDAO, good sir. And definitely you should all be, if you can, jumping into that show at Token Smart that has been running consistently for like 3+ years, finding amazing art, even getting some Web2 artists to kind of notice or pissing them off because they're like, NFTs are ruining the world. So I just wanted to shout out Paul for coming up and love you all.
We love you too, Easy. We love you too. And it was so wonderful to meet you last year at NFT NYC. And it's on my list again for next year. So is ETH Denver, and so I'm super excited. I can't wait to stand and hug all of you, and I will sob. I just know it. I will.
And I'll be bearing any like major like global disasters or something. I'll be at NFT NYC and speaking again this year too.
Yay. Yay. Well, Lisa, yes, please, come share with us.
I actually don't know how to put my hand down.
That's okay. Don't
So
worry
you
about
put
it.
your
We're
hand
ready.
up, and I'm trying to put my hand down virtually. How embarrassing.
No,
But
introduce
thank
yourself,
you,
Lisa.
Rena. So embarrassing. Anyway, thank you, Rena, and thank you, Dylan. Oh my God, I'm so glad to be here, and I'm so grateful to listen into this space, because I really like, it's one of the spaces that really resonates with me, and I feel like you have got it. Like, whatever page I was doing, every time I looking at what you're doing, I'm like, okay, they've got it. Content creators need to be valued. And that is the bottom line. The people that create the content and do the writing need to be valued. And we're trying to turn that upside down, right? And for me, like, a lot of the speak I hear all the time, it's like, oh, everyone else but the creator is being valued. So when I come to you, Dylan, and I come to you, Rihanna, I'm always like, oh yes, these guys get it. It's amazing. So I'm so happy to be here, and I'm so happy to listen in all the time. And I'll be here every time you ask me to be. For me, I have like a pseudonym or like a secret name. I was the Limerick Lady, and I had a Twitter account with the Limerick Lady, but I was my limericks. I'm from a town called Limerick in the west of Ireland, and it's the home of the funny 5-line poem called the Limerick. And it can be quite perverse. It can be quite like not in the mainstream. So yeah, it got taken down. So God knows where the Limerick Lady has gone. She has gone missing. But I'm still here, and I will find her again. I'm looking for her, and in the meantime, I'm still writing limericks. And yeah, my big idea in my life, besides being communications consultant and yeah, writing for marketing and trying to write in general, is to write limericks. And I love my friends in Limerick who still write limericks. They're still go to the pub every week and they speak about limericks, and they want to like talk about limericks as a poetry form. So my big thing here, being here with you all tonight, is to promote the limerick as a poetic form, but also to support Dylan and support Rihanna in what they're doing. They're actually saying the written word is really important, and I actually think, you know, that's undervalued, and we need to value it, and everyone here tonight really values it. So I'm so super happy to be supporting you guys, and that's all I want to say. Over and out from me.
Oh gosh, Lisa, that's beautiful. And I love limericks. I was a former English teacher and I always taught them in my classes. And I think we should do a collaboration. We should do a curation, and we should get all of your limerick writing friends together, and we should get a book going. And Whitney Morgan Media, who that is my publishing company, would love to have that and get that out there to the world. And I know that PageDAO would love to be the place to get this published. And I know that there's so many places that are not going to tell you no, that aren't going to block you, that aren't going to get rid of you, that we are going to celebrate the limerick. And T2 would be a place, and all of these places here. So let's do it. Let's gather all of these limericks together and share it. Share it. So thank you so much.
Free the limerick.
Yeah, free the limerick.
Hey,
Free the
Lisa,
limericks!
I do love a good limerick, and our next edition of Arts and Poetry is actually going to be a minimalist edition, so short form poems and minimalist art. So if that sounds good to you, I can send you an invite to our DM group. Make sure you get a one of the submission forms, and we'd love to have something fun from you for our next edition of Arts and Poetry whenever that comes out. And also, I think Odd
Yes.
Writings has a unique poetry channel on T2. So maybe it would be appropriate for you there as well. Who knows?
Yes, please, but it has to be bold. You have to allow bold, okay?
Oh yeah,
This is just wild.
Just
We
really,
only allow bold. Yeah.
It's working, y'all.
yeah, just really quick. I'll just say real quick. So the territory that I have on T2 is actually not poetry, but well, there's two territories I have, but one of them is Oulipo, which you can view as a superset of any kind of constrained writing, and that means that any poem which follows a set of rules could qualify. So if you want to do that, that would be in Oulipo. I assume at some point someone's going to come up with a poetry territory, but I wanted something sort of more specific. Oulipo is supposed to be more kind of strange writing, but really it can be any kind of constrained writing. So just wanted to clear that up.
Haiku too.
Yeah, I think I was thinking of your Oulipo territory because I was thinking that a limerick is a constrained form and thus it would count. But I apologize, I misspoke. It's odd writings is not a poetry form per se, but arts and poetry is definitely a poetry form.
I wanted to jump in real quick. I know we're heading toward the end, but my wife told me to mention to everybody that National Poetry Writing Month is coming up in the U.S. in April, and like whatever we do, we can celebrate this National Poetry Writing Month. Thousands and thousands of people do concerted effort around poetry, and I love the constrained writing. I love anti-censorship. We got to find homes for our work that allow us to speak freely and share our thoughts. So I'm also really excited and really moved to hear everyone here, and it feels like a home for thinkers and writers. And yeah, all right, that's it.
Yeah, home for people. It's good. I like this.
I do too. I do too. Well, is there anyone else who would like to join us on the stage? Is there anyone else who would like to share what they're working on, so that we can celebrate you a little bit before we end the space? If there
Yeah,
is,
Emily, would you like to come on?
yes, please.
She's in the other room. She's like, can I just listen?
Yeah, okay, that's fine. That's no fun. We also have collector.xch and Saphir the Storyteller, and ideas listening not anonymously. So, you guys are welcome to request. I think there is one space available for folks to speak if they want to. But, I feel like we've kind of gone through and got to know everybody, and it's an exciting day, but, people have stuff to go do. So maybe this is a good spot to start thinking about wrapping it up. Final thoughts. Anything else anybody needs to get out their chest before we let this one go?
I have one small little thing that is exciting for me as the writer. So I wrote a poem, and it was curated by Sasha Stiles to be part of the New Society. And it's in this wonderful book. And this wonderful book is now, my poem was on display over the Christmas holiday in an art gallery in Paris across from the Louvre. And it is also now in Paris at the Louis Vuitton Foundation place. I don't know. I don't even know what all those beautiful words exactly mean, but it is so overwhelming that this poem that I wrote, and it's a visual poem and it's an auditory poem because I love to read my work, because my mom was blind at the end of her life, and she always wanted to hear what I was working on, and so I always try to read whatever it is I write, and so it is. I just wanted to say I'm excited about that. And I know that this is a safe space to share something that I'm loving. So thank you.
Oh, I love that so much, Rihanna. It hits on so many levels. Odd Writings has his hand up, but I think we can all, so the hearts are popping for you. That feeling of having your work that was done in collaboration get elevated is the vibe. I think I can't even say it enough. It's like it's great when you do great, but it's great when you do great as a part of a collective. And not only have we weathered storms together, but now we're also able to share in each other's wins in the most beautiful ways. I'm so happy for you, Rihanna.
Well, thank you so much. Odd Writings, yes, please.
Yes, I just wanted to say for people that are listening, if you're not familiar with Sasha Stiles, she's the person that curated Riona that you just said. Look her up, SASHASTILES. She is if you got accepted by Sasha Stiles, that is a major thing. The Sasha Stiles is completely leading in the NFT poetry space, at least one of the top two. And I wanted to shout that out. That's a major thing. So congratulations, Rihanna.
100%. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, you all just, this is so beautiful. Thank you
I
all.
mean, wait a second. So are you telling us that you have a poem in the Louvre?
Across the street.
Across the street from the Louvre?
That's the power of the verse in Sasha Stiles right there.
That's just wild to
Boom.
me. Like
I know.
it still hasn't quite sunk in.
I know. It's insane. I get these messages and there's all these beautiful things that's happening with this poem, and I'm just overwhelmed by by it. Yeah, it's just really amazing.
Sorry to jump in, and huge congratulations. It's such a heartfelt gratitude for the success you're having with that poem, and to be working with Sasha Stiles, absolutely incredible. She's doing amazing things. I was gonna say, is it possible to maybe read us that poem?
Oh, do you guys want to hear it?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Oh my god.
And
I
if
do. I
Lisa would
think I
read
can
us a
speak for
limerick,
others
I
on
would like
this.
that
Yeah.
too, I think.
Oh my god.
Maybe we could have just a poetry reading kind of at the end
And
of
then
the
we
day.
need a limerick after you read that. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yes.
Oh, wait. Sorry. We have one more introduction we have to do. We've been joined up on the stage by Saphir. Saphir,
Oh
the storyteller.
yes.
While
Let's do
Rihanna
it.
gets her poem ready
Yeah.
to
Let's
read
do
to
it.
us, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi guys. Thank you very much. This is such an amazing space. It's literally taken me a year to find it. So a lot of the thoughts that I've been having, it's been, looking at what exactly a lot of the PageDAO seems to be. So I'm so pleased to meet everybody. I won't shill any stuff. I genuinely want to just network right now and get to know everybody. So yeah, please drop me a follow. I'll drop you a follow, and I'll see you in the Discord and see you on the more spaces. I'm looking forward to
Beautiful.
this poem, man.
Yeah, come on, Rihanna, lay it on us.
I'm pulling it up right now.
Well, it's been good to meet you, Saphir. And you can find our Discord by going to PageDAO.org. You can find the page token. You can find governance on DAO there. So while Rihanna looks for her poem, I just want to take a second to shout out to the community. If you're listening to this and you want more information about PageDAO, we're really working hard to try to be as transparent as possible. We're hiring writers to help write up about the technologies that we're putting out, and basically we're putting everything at PageDAO.org. So you can go there, you can find our docs, you can find our token information, you can find our governance information. You can see how much I spent in Denver. Go check it out.
I will quickly add, the transparency of PageDAO is unrivaled. That we've had most of our discussions here in spaces or on fully open broadcasted in the Discord. So get involved. And big shout out, Saphir the writer. Great to see you. Found us, even though it took a year, and excited to collab on something.
Cheers, guys. Yeah, I'm absolutely checking it out now. On Polygon and Ethereum, or is it both?
Yeah, it's on both and more.
Yeah, Page is actually on, I think, over a dozen different blockchains at this point. We have Polygon, we have Ethereum where we launched it. We also have Osmosis where we now have a liquidity pool. The Gravity Bridge blockchain that we use to access Ethereum and kind of transfer back and forth from the IBC environment would be number 4. Secret Network is number 5. We should be launching another liquidity pool there soon. We're also on a handful of other chains, including Evmos, including Juno, including I don't know, a handful of different IBC chains. I made sure to do 12 when I did this like 2 years ago.
Rihanna, how's it looking? How's it looking, Rihanna?
I have it.
Give us that poem, Rihanna. We want to hear the poem.
I'm ready. I'm ready. So it is titled, I Didn't Know. You waved back and called, I love you, like you'd done a million times before. Your words drifted in the evening breeze. I laughed and cheered. My heart left with you as I watched until I could no longer see, just like I always did. I didn't know our last moment together would be the end. If I had, I would have lingered longer, holding you close, kissing your cheek. If I had, I would have repeated over and over, at least enough to last 100 years. I am so proud of you. I love you forever. If I had, I would have gazed for hours into your eyes, so bright and beautiful, the ones I know as well as I know my own. I didn't know I would never hear your voice again. If I had, I would have run for one last hug, one last minute, one last whisper of us. If I had, I would have begged for another story, another dream to be shared, another smile, and another, infinitely. If I had, I would have never let you go. But I didn't know. The end.
Wow, that actually pulled some tears from my eyes.
Yeah, what a profound emotion.
Yeah, I'm tearing up too over here.
Beautiful. It's beautiful.
This is success for PageDAO, folks. We're all crying in public on a Twitter space.
that was really moving. Incredible work. I know why it's up, even if it's not in the Louvre, but it's across the street. So hell yeah.
I have to die
It
first
won't
for
be
it to
long.
be in the
That'll be in the
Louvre.
Louvre.
Thank you, Rihanna. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you all so much for being part of that with me. I will never forget this moment.
I think it's time to do an aloha and share the love right at this point.
I do too. I do too. I do too. So we're
Or a limerick.
I want a limerick. No more aloha.
From tears.
Give us 2 more
tears
minutes
to
and then we'll
laughter.
aloha. Like, I know everybody wants to aloha. Like, I love the aloha too, but like, come on, guys, this is a special day. Let's live it up while we can. Let's live it with a limerick.
Yes. Do we have a limerick, Lisa?
Where did she go?
Where did she go?
Oh no, we've lost the limerick.
Oh no. Well, we will grab her next time for sure. For sure. So we are
honestly, like in her defense, I don't think anybody in their right mind would ever try to follow what you just did.
Oh.
I'm damn sure not reading a poem right now.
Dylan, you're killing me. Oh.
So aloha then?
Aloha then. So we're going to pull on the spirit of our lovely, beautiful friend CD, and he is from Hawaii, and he ends this space every Wednesday, every week, every Tuesday, and shares that aloha means air, and it means love, and it means hello, and it means goodbye. And so anyone and everyone who's on the stage, we all just open our mics, and on a count of 3, we all just say aloha to end the space. And so everyone go ahead and open your mics, and on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Aloha.
Aloha.
Thank you all. Much love forever.
Much love.
brought to you by Vagabond Magazine and published on Apple Podcasts through the Substack app. You can find all the episodes on Apple Podcasts or at vagabond, vagobond.substack.com. Our theme music is composed by the amazingly talented Paolo Argento and brought to us courtesy of Pixabay. You can find the link in the show notes.